how you've handled stress, how you've managed your own mental health in this role in particular. And so right, maybe you could tell us specific ways that you have coped with the stress of your IT administrator positions, and give us some color in terms of what you've had to deal with there.
Being now I'm actually a panelist on a webinar, but I like attending the JumpCloud webinars. I feel like they're well put together. Nobody paid me to say that, but one thing that I've been kind of taking up for the last few years of COVID is I bought a treadmill. I love running, so I do try to attend webinars live with or a recorded one or something from JumpCloud or other vendors and stuff. Just literally just find a way to break off from the desk, the regular stresses, go for a run, go for a walk. I just have a newborn, he's 3 months old in a couple weeks. Try to take him for a walk and push the stroller around and see what's outside of the office, right? So that's one thing I really like to do is just stick to some type of schedule. Take a lunch when you can. I know we hear that. Everybody tells us to do that. When you do it, it feels good. Don't penalize yourself for it. Set yourself on a DND or a lunch status on Slack or Teams if you're one of those companies. Give yourself the credit that you deserve. If somebody gets on your case for it, I'd highly question why. That's just one thing. Make it okay to do you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what Ricky says. I think there's always like this demand for information, and it goes back to what I was saying about like that daisy chain of information. When someone asks someone a question and they want to answer now, and that person doesn't have it, they're obviously going to go to their go-to person for the answer to that question. And if you're off taking a break or something, or doing whatever it is that you're doing during that time, like it weighs heavily on you, because now they're stressed out because they don't have an answer to give to somebody above them, and they may not have like the technical chops or whatnot to facilitate that answer themselves. So as far as like coping with the stress, working from home for me, at the start of the pandemic, like March when everything happened, my dog was diagnosed with chronic heart failure. So I was, spending more time at home with my dogs instead of, going to work and then, getting home at 7 o'clock at night, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., just long 14, 15-hour days. And, just feeling bad not being there for my dog. So, just being able to spend time with my dog and obviously help with the passing of dogs as well. That helped a lot, just being there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. As we're getting into this more personal content, I appreciate the two of you sharing this. I want to remind our participants that if you have any questions for Ricky or Wayne or myself, feel free to put them in the chat, and we'll try to get to them. If you have any comments, we're monitoring those as we're presenting here. So please feel free to do that. We're open to jumping off of any of the comments that you might have. What this reminds me of, and I'm dealing with this so much with very, very high-powered in mid-level and low-level professionals, is that what they realize is that, my job is my job. It's important, and but it's not as important to me as the people in my life and my own health. And so frequently we're overextending ourselves. I would say that 90% of the people that I have seen over the past 25 years in the mental health field come in and get help too late. Now that's one thing, right? When I say too late, it's they could have benefited from coming in earlier and doing something more proactively. So it's not too late for them necessarily to be helped or for them to help themselves, but we tend to help ourselves too late, right? We don't actually aren't involved in preventative types of things because erosion of our own health goes slowly, right? That's the nature of it. We don't realize that it's building up and it's building up. So it's wonderful to hear the types of things that the two of you have learned to do for yourselves to help you manage stress and to take care of yourselves from a mental health standpoint. Again, what are some of the challenges from actually getting that good work-life balance in your lives? Challenges that you might have from your job or your personal lives? What are some of the things that keep on tugging at your sleeve for attention, would you say?
Giving myself some space, moving away from the desk a little bit, that's a challenge. You don't realize how much power you have mentally and physically to just walk away. It's whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. The other thing is it's never, if you need help, it's okay to ask for help too. That's the other thing, whether that's talking with, your management, talking with HR, or, aside from work, my wife gets to talk with us here and there, but we try not to, make it a not a yelling fest, but, a punching bag, like this is my negative, negative, negative. You just want to talk, there's positives and there's negatives in there, but don't bottle it in. Get the help if you need the help. One thing that I've kind of come to peace with, and Primitive is very supportive over it, was they actually are some of our staff during COVID, during some of the burnout and hard times, had hired John Brown, which is a hypnotherapist out of Los Angeles. I was working with him. I've been working with him for over 2 years now, and I feel like he's one of the best tools in my toolbox. It's like, I'll take a session on Tuesday, I'll block off the time, my upper management supports me blocking off that time for an hour, and I'll go ahead and talk about personal and business struggles and items, or maybe just it was a positive week, or that type of thing. But my thing is, it's never wrong to ask for help. If you need help, whatever help may be, do it. Don't starve yourself from that, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I would say the remote work aspect was huge for me. I think mentally, just escaping from, you have like these two things, right? You have like your personal life and you have your work life. So it's like you have these stressors from your own personal life that sometimes you need to check out from, and then you have like your work life that can stress you out, and then sometimes you need to check out from that. But what some of us in IT tend to do, and I don't know if anyone else is familiar with this, is when you're stressing out in real life, you pour yourself into your work. And then you don't make any room for yourself. But then when you're at work, you catch yourself having like, meaningless conversations with people, trying to avoid doing like whatever tasks that are in front of you, because, it's already draining you, and you already got like, you're stepping away from your personal stuff. So you're trying to find different things to occupy yourself with. So removing myself from that environment to where now I can focus on like, hey, if work's stressing me out, go walk down the hall. Go wash my face, go brush my teeth, go make a snack, things that I the thought of taking a lunch would stress me out, because I don't have 30 minutes. I need to get this done type of thing. And I already wasted my time having all these conversations with people, or giving somebody a technical definition so they can go, report that information to someone. So just finding that balance, removing myself from one situation kind of opens up like wow, I was really spending like 14 hours a day at work, and I don't even know why I was.
Yes.
Right. It reminds me of this this term. We gain a lot of pleasure and excitement from our personal and professional lives, and sometimes it's stressful. We think about the excitement of getting a new job or getting a new dog or having a newborn, and that it's stressful, but it's what we would call eustress, EUSTRESS, right? This is positive stress. And then there's distress, right? There's the stuff that really drains us from both of these things. And I think of that old adage of like, how do you cook a frog, right? How do you cook a frog? You can't just throw a frog. I'm not sure who among us is cooking frogs, but you can't throw a frog into a pot of boiling water because it'll jump off the top. But what you do, if you want to, is that you put a frog in water and then you start to slowly, slowly turn up the temperature. And I feel like that's kind of what's happening for all of us. So when you take a lunch hour or you break up some sort of aspect of your day, you're kind of breaking that cycle of distress, right? And you're putting new associations in there. So we both providing really good examples of some of the things that you've done.
Please subscribe and check out more content from us.